But wouldn't it be fitting for Nintendo to tantalize us once more with a game that they've only shown a logo of? Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. It's Fancy Friday once again, and I hope you're feeling your best, because for me, this weekend is all about board games and video games, and that bodes very well. But first, we gotta talk about Metroid Prime 4 happening sooner than we thought. Also, Nintendo just doesn't give a crap about video game preservation, and there's some new scathing comments. And last but not least, new comments on Nintendo Switch 2 from Mr. Furukawa himself. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're all doing super well. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy the show, and let me know your take on today's topics in the comments down below. Now, we're about to mix things up and do the poll first, because I feel like it's fitting for today. Last night, Nintendo announced that Majora's Mask is making its way to N64 and the expansion pack next Friday. Now, I made a full video about my take on where I think Nintendo Switch Online is at and if it's now become worth it. Check that out if you have a chance, but let's take a look at the poll. 51% of you said yes, I have played Majora's Mask. 49% said no, you have not. Now, 49% of you are in for a treat if you have a chance to dabble in the maniacal world of the Moon Man coming to crash into Termina. Definitely do so. It's a very uniquely structured Zelda game which still retains awesome power-ups, weapons, and dungeons. I like it a lot. I encourage you to play it, and literally, this is a new Zelda game for 49% of you, and it's available next Friday. Don't even have to wait for Breath of the Wild 2. Who needs it? We all need it. And if you need something fresh and fun to do this weekend, good news. My friends over at Disney EMOJI BLITZ have an awesome Match 3 puzzler that is perfect to play while you relax. Plus, extra bonus here, I'm doing a sweepstakes giving away 3 $20 eShop gift cards, and we're picking the winners in just a couple days. So I challenge you to get in on this. All right, all you have to do is download the game using my link in the description down below, reach level 30, and send me a pic of your progress on Twitter. All right, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and you can get some eShop gift cards to get some games to have even more fun in the next few days. Now, is there a chance we'll be having fun with Samus once again sooner than we thought? Metroid Prime 4 is mythical. And it's just out there, all right? It's the mysterious beyond. It ain't coming anytime soon. And we felt that way since it was first teased years ago. And then they apologized, and then it's been all quiet on the Zebus front. But something just changed. Let's shift our eyes to the Retro Studios profile page over on the Twitter. All right, these are the people behind Metroid Prime 4, and they have made an upgrade. All right, they changed out their Twitter banner, and now we see a beautiful shot of Samus basking beneath blue glowing lights. Now, I must warn you, there is a solid chance that this means nothing. All right, maybe Retro's just trying to recruit more cool cats to work on the project, and this is an exciting image to place on social media. But wouldn't it be fitting for Nintendo to tantalize us once more with a game that they've only shown a logo of? All right, other studios are putting out their big exciting projects. Horizon Forbidden West just released. Starfield and Redfall and Fable and Perfect Dark. Microsoft is cooking. Nintendo, maybe they want to show the future. Recently, Nintendo has been known to tease games that are over a year away, and hey, maybe Metroid Prime 4 is over a year away. It could be revealed once more at the E3 Time Direct later this summer. And reputable leaker Mark Amaro has something interesting to say on this banner, noting it's been so long since their last game, Retro, 2014, unless of course we count DK Tropical Freeze port on Switch in 2018, June is going to be very interesting. It's time for Retro Studios to break their silence. Now, he notes that breaking their silence could be with the Metroid Prime franchise, and this is where I have to bring in the curveball. We've heard plenty of rumors about a Metroid Prime 1 Redux, right? A remastering of the first game to kind of ease us in to Metroid Prime 4. And maybe that's what this banner is in fact teasing. I think there's a solid chance that we see Metroid at the next Direct, whether in the form of a tease for 4 or a full-blown reveal of 1 remastered for Switch. Either prospect is super exciting, but it does seem like maybe things are picking up. Maybe Nintendo is really ready to rev the engines after the success of Metroid Dread, the announced updates in DLC, and this new banner profile picture, which I will keep my eyes on. maybe a Rogue Ridley will appear mysteriously in the background, or maybe Retro will make more indications that something is coming. I say we set our sights on June, on the Summer Direct, and see what happens. How pumped would you be if Nintendo decided that yes, it's time for Space Bounty Hunter FPS once more? I would be thrilled. Oh, but what's not thrilling is Nintendo's stance on the preservation of video games. All right, we know that they're shuttering the 3DS and Wii U eShops, and that is a bummer. Now, the Video Game History Organization had something very interesting and very scathing, frankly, to note on this whole practice. They said, while it's unfortunate that people won't be able to purchase digital 3DS or Wii U games anymore, we understand the business reality that went into this decision. Yeah, it does make sense. Like, you can't keep things forever. It's just money and dollars and servers. What we don't understand is what path Nintendo expects its fans to take, should they wish to play these games in the future. As a paying member of the ESA, Nintendo actively funds lobbying that prevents even libraries from being able to provide legal access to these games. Not providing commercial access is understandable, but preventing institutional work to preserve these titles on top of that is actively destructive to video game history. We encourage ESA members like Nintendo to rethink their position on this issue and work with existing institutions to find a solution. And now you know that not only does Nintendo not want to run their own servers, they want to run out anyone that even tries to keep this stuff going. Now, this comes in concert with a little update to the eShop closures, where Nintendo posted on their official site that for the foreseeable future, it will still be possible to re-download games and DLC, receive software updates, and enjoy online play on Wii U and 3DS. Meaning like, yo, your library is still cool, you can go re-download those games, and that'll be going for a couple of years. But a new report from an anonymous former Nintendo of America employee, sourced by Nintendo Life, says that they believe that you will not be able to re-download these games after a couple of years. Their quote is, within a few years, you no longer will be able to re-download stuff, and if something happens to your system, your library is lost. Now, this is bad for preservation, for value, for actual ownership, and just for the future where my kids want to play a game from yesteryear. You know, Nintendo really doesn't make it easy, and it makes their decisions with Nintendo Switch Online and all the classic consoles all the more important, because they clearly are shifting all of us to Switch and saying, yo, this is how we want you to have our nostalgic catalog, no other options. Not even the library. Do you find it bad that Nintendo has such a limited view of video game history and that they don't want to make it easier for fans around the world to access their stuff? Let me know in the comments down below. Speaking of the future, Nintendo head honcho Mr. Presidente Furukawa was speaking recently with Japanese newspaper Nikkei and gave some really interesting comments on Nintendo Switch 2. Now, these are being deemed by some as the most candid and revealing comments yet on the next console, and here is what the boss had to say. The hardware and software development teams are in the same building, communicating closely and thinking about how we can propose new forms of entertainment. In order to create a single piece of hardware, we have to do a lot of preparation, several years in advance, so we are working without stopping. In the end, the deciding factor in whether or not to commercialize a product is whether it can create a new experience. Now, this is interesting, right? I guess we all kind of assumed that Nintendo Switch 2 would just be Nintendo Switch with better and more, but here Furukawa is going back to the history of Nintendo. He's going back to what Nintendo has utilized as the foundation for their future consoles forever. What can it do new? We look at something like the GameCube, to the Wii, to the Wii U, to the Switch, and they always were bringing a brand new style of entertainment, a new form of play. And Furukawa says Nintendo is still focused, with hardware and software unified to create new forms of entertainment. And the next product will need to create a new experience. That to me sounds like whatever comes after Switch will inevitably have something more. Now, I don't think they're going to abandon the handheld home console hybrid. I think they'll stick there, but I think it'll also maybe have something more than just better graphics. Then again, for Nintendo, high power would absolutely be a new experience, as high power isn't something they have done in a really long time. And so I think for them, maybe actually pushing the boundaries hardware-wise would seem like a new experience. I guess it doesn't have to be a gimmick in the form of like a touchscreen or motion control or something crazy like that. It could just be, hey, we really want this to be progressive. We really want this to be a big step forward. And to me, that's a really good thing, especially considering how long it will be between Nintendo Switch and whatever system is next. Because once again, Furukawa iterated, there's a lot of years left. We always say that we are in the middle of the Switch's life cycle. We always say we're in the middle. And since one piece of hardware can be used to play both stationary and portable games, we can offer a wide variety of software for this purpose. The life cycle can still be extended. Ooh, they stretching this thing. They really want this generation to go gadget to 2024, 2025. I mean, I don't know where it ends at this point. Obviously, Furukawa has to be coy about what their actual plans are, when the next big reveal is, and when the next piece of hardware will actually show up on store shelves. But it sure sounds like Nintendo is standing put with their Switch because it's so successful. Why iterate? They're working, yes. He says they never stop iterating and trying to make a new thing, but that new thing will not come out until they can provide a new experience. And I think right now they're perfectly content with the current experience. So it sure sounds like to me that the next Switch will be an awesome upgrade, and it sure sounds like to me that will not happen for a while. Please let me know if you agree that Nintendo shouldn't make a new one until it can do something substantially new, and if you also like or dislike the fact that Furukawa says we always say we're in the middle. It's always the middle. Year 3, middle. Year 5, middle. Year 7, middle? Well, I can say that we are not in the middle, we are at the end. And that brings to close another wonderful week of Good Morning Mario and sharing all of our Nintendo love together. Thank you so much for allowing me to be the shepherd as I guide you through the wonderful world of this fantastic company and their amazing games and consoles. And I love that we get to share it all together. So make sure you have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. I will, of course, be back on Monday with much more videos over the weekend as well. Check them out. Until then, everybody, thanks again. You are awesome. All right, relax and enjoy this weekend. Get outside a little bit. Always great to see the beautiful world. Look out there. Just see how many trees you can see. It's like, man, this planet is crazy. And Nintendo, sometimes they're crazy too. Until next time, everybody, thanks again. SwitchForce, out.